Time to do some spraying. Still got to get the bean chemical rinsed out of the sprayer. Got about, I don't know, 50 gallon of product in there. While it's out here, I should definitely check the air pressure in the tires. I want to say we ran them at about 60 psi on these skinnies. I'm not entirely sure, but hopefully they'll be close to where I can kind of get an idea of where we had them. That one was at about 58, so I'm saying we ran them at about 60. I know one always kind of, I went low. That one's at about 59, 58. There's the one. It's at 48. That one needs air. A lot of the times those just pop right back off and don't do you any good. Usually creates more work for you. We've got a field across the river, which, if you haven't watched any of my previous videos, the bridge is closed that is nearest to us over the river. Which makes for a very long trip over to the farm that we have down there. It's about an hour and 45, maybe 2 hours just to get over there. But either way, we've got to get that done today, and I'm hoping I can get back here and spray another 60 at least. A little too much. Okay, all the chemical is loaded up for me to at least do that 70 acres across the river. 60 some, 63, somewhere in there. Either way, we've definitely got enough chemical now. Go ahead and get hooked up to the water trailer there, the nurse tank. I've got 300 gallon in there now, I believe. So that should be enough to get me rinsed out. And then I've got a long trip across the river to get over to that farm, and that'll give him enough time to get loaded with more water. And hopefully one load of water should get us done there. 900 gallon will do about 60 acres. That's a 1,080 gallon tank, nurse tank, or 1,025, somewhere in there. So it's going to be darn close. And that would be really sad if he had to drive all the way back across the river just to get water. Which he may just go to the police station and get it. You can get water from the police station. They've got a little thing there that you just slot some quarters in, dumps out, you know, 100 gallon of water. Used to be 100 gallon, now it's a quarter for like 40 gallon of water, but he can always finish me off that way. It's a lot closer than coming back all the way over to this side of the country here. Before I forget it, I'm just gonna pull over to the fuel barrel now and just put diesel fuel in, because otherwise I'm gonna get done rinsing out and be in a hurry. I'm gonna take off out of here 2 hours away and not have any fuel. I will say the one thing between the floaters and these road crop tires, it is so much nicer driving down the road with these skinnies because I can actually keep them all the way in and still be able to turn sharp. Because with those floaters, if you don't leave them out, one, just getting back to the point where you're off your roads every time you drive to a field is annoying, so I leave them out anyway. But if you don't, and you try to pull them back in, if you gotta make a sharp turn, you're hitting the side of the frame. So you kind of got to watch things, and you're just a lot wider than everybody else, and it gets kind of crummy when you're going down the road sometimes, especially some of these roads here. The shoulders aren't very good, and let's face it, some people just do not respect you when you're driving down the road at all. Go get this rinsed out quick. Before I take off, I've got to get these tires set between my rows. Perfect. Take this back, one needs pulled in just a touch. That was easy. Well, what I did in the first pass looks really good. Everything is very clean. Happy. These beans look phenomenal. These are strip tilled. It's got 120 acres south of the house here. Everything is looking really good. Everything's just looking so good. And we actually backed the population down on our beans. We're running higher than we normally do the last couple of years. I think we were in like the 147,000 range, 145 maybe on population. And it just turned out on like the 30-inch spacings, I mean, they just fought for space. They grew to 5 foot tall, and they just laid over in the wind, and it was a tangled up mess. So we've decided not to do that anymore. So we dropped our population back this year. I think, I want to say 137 and a half, 138, maybe 140 in some areas. Yeah, so we're hoping that cures the issue of them growing way too tall and just being all stem. We were still getting around 70s, you know, mid 70s on yield, but I don't know. We're trying things out on these beans, trying to get consistent 80s. I don't know whether that's going to be switching chemical products here, maybe dinging them a little bit when they're up, just to get them stressed out. Maybe a roller. I have no idea. I don't know how guys are liking the whole roller thing. I've heard really good things about them, especially I would imagine on like this strip till where corn stalks are still up and it's a little rough running. I feel like a roller would do a lot of good, either running it before they're planted or running it after they are up. I don't know how guys are doing that. I'd have to talk to somebody or do a little research there, but I've heard of guys rolling them over when they're young and really stressing them out, because beans love stress. The more stress you can give them when they're young, the bushier they become, as long as you've got water to pour onto them. Well, we finally made it. I don't know how long it was, but I'm going to guess probably an hour and a half, actually. The escort was immediate. He seen me coming, the cop seen me coming, and just pulled down there and waited for me, basically. I got over the bridge in no time. The only real holdup is this train, and the field is literally just across the train tracks here, so we gotta wait for this train. There's one that comes by every 15 minutes, and they go pretty fast, so it's always kind of a sketchy crossing here because you can't really see on both ends. There's trees in the way, so you kind of just gotta hope that crossing guard there is working. I actually had a pretty close call in the semi one year. I was coming from the other side, and you really cannot see there, and I just went ahead and crossed, and all of a sudden the arms came down, hit the top of the trailer as it was coming down, because they come up and down pretty quickly. And luckily they're meant to kind of bungee up and down. They're not rigid, so I got scooted across there. It didn't break the arm or anything like that, but I did get across before the train came, but it was kind of close. Anyway, we are finally here, like I said. Dad is still heading across with water. Oh, while I'm waiting on Dad, I may as well get out and look at the corn. See how it's doing. Oh. I would say it definitely hit the nitrogen because it is a dark green and growing very fast. Looks fantastic. Probably the best I've seen it. I'm very happy with this. This farm is typically underwater. You can see all the CRP that we've got put into these fields. That's usually lily pads and frogs and fish, and yeah, it's, I mean, 8 inches of standing water. And we used to farm that, but it just kept getting so wet from all these trees growing up next where the river bottoms are and all that stuff. It just gets backed up and kind of moves in here. And in an average year, this farm is typically very wet. So with the really dry conditions that we've had, if we do see a drought or anything like that, this farm is probably still going to make something because it's usually very wet. The water table is just very high all the time. I mean, I kicked this with my boot. You can see there's moisture just right there. So, I mean, you don't gotta go far and you got moisture. And we haven't had rain in I don't even know how long. So, always good to not throw all your eggs in one basket and have different soil conditions and things like that. Like a year like this, if we do have a drought, like I said. As far as weeds go, there's really nothing very tall here. Just a little bit of grass. I want to say this might be water hemp. It's a little too small for me to tell, but I believe that's what that is. We'll go ahead and pull them and get rid of them. Those are bad guys. I mean, they're all bad, but water hemp's the worst. Maybe some velvet leaf. But nothing really major. Some Canadian thistles. That's really about it. And like I said, they're that big, so what we're gonna put down here, as far as the atrazine and glyphosate, it's gonna smoke that. Mestrione too, I believe. Here's one that's right next to the entrance that didn't get sprayed early. We had somebody come out and spray this for us because it is across the bridge and it was quite annoying to get here. So we didn't want to drive too many times over here just for these 60-some acres. So we had it sprayed. They put 32 down for us and spread the fertilizer and everything. I didn't come over here with the strip till bar, but right where it, basically right when you pull in, right where it didn't get sprayed. That is a pretty good sized water hemp, but he should die too. In fact, he's gonna die right now because I'm gonna pull him out of the ground. Well, Dad finally made it, so we're gonna go ahead and get filled up here. So it's gonna take a while because we've got a lot of atrazine to go in and a lot of jugs to deal with. So if you haven't seen how we filled the sprayer, just go check back on my other videos if you really want to know. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this filled and see when we're spraying. was Dad's first time running the drone. He said he didn't know if he did a very good job, and I probably won't have anything for the video, but I guess we'll find out when I look at the footage. And he didn't crash, so he did good. You'll have to let him know down in the comments, tell him how he did. I'll try to make a good edit out of it. But yeah, that was Dad's first time running a drone. And not only is it a good thing for, you know, if I ever need him to, like today, run the drone for a video, but it's good for him to know how to run that thing for whenever we're going to scout fields. That's originally what we bought it for, so. Anyway, this field is done. This farm is sprayed. It's time to head it back over the river. We are done for the day. 8:30. We actually made really good time, about 50 minutes. The cop met me at the bottom of the bridge immediately again, so they've just been doing a spectacular job there. Did you like flying the drone, or was it just confusing?
It wasn't bad.
The joysticks get a little weird sometimes.
It wasn't bad at all. It was pretty easy.
Did you want to go check that? I kind of want to look at it.
What?
The cover crop.
Oh.
I haven't looked at it.
Oh, it's dead.
It looks very dead.
It's dead.
Extremely dead.
It's
but I also wanted to look at the beans because they should be up a lot further now.
I've been hearing horror stories that it kills the yield, but
well, I hope not.
I hope not too. It is doing a lot of good for the ground.
I guess we'll find out.
And maybe it'll be a better corn crop, but
the beans.
It'll hurt the beans.
Well, we did let it get a little big.
Not as big as a lot of them I've seen.
I hope it's just not a mess going through the corn head. Or the...
Well, yeah, it won't hurt the corn head a bit.
Yeah. The flex draper. The bean platform. I've been doing that all year. Yeah. I actually can't believe that either. I sprayed this, what?
10 days ago?
Yeah.
A little over. It was the 11th I just looked at it.
Okay. So, about 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
And it's already falling down. Oh, that's beautiful. Beans are coming right on through it.
Yes. Wow, I cannot believe how dead this stuff is in 2 weeks.
Yes, the 15-gallon was a good thing.
Holy cow. And I don't see a patch of green in the field anywhere.
No, I don't either. Even patches of green are gone now.
So I did good on the sprayer. Huh. Yeah, this stuff even... Yeah, we let it head out.
Well, it didn't seed, though. There's no seed in it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was right at the right stage, I think.
Yep, it was trying to seed.
It was getting ready to. But it didn't put the seed in.
Yes. Yeah, this looks great.
Yeah. Let's see what it does this fall. They got a nice blanket on them in these cold nights.
Yeah, even the beans look good. All this organic matter.
Yeah.
Adding this to the dirt, yes.
Straw.
I would certainly think. Now, I mean, I don't know, it may take a while because a lot of this is still going to be laying on top of the ground if we strip till it, right? You know, if we incorporated it, it would decay a lot faster, but...
I'll buy next spring. It's gone.
Well, that's true. It's already this dead and falling over. It'll be very decayed by next spring. Well, after sitting in the truck and talking with Dad for an hour and a half, my wife is probably wondering where I'm at. So I'm going home. We at least got that one field sprayed. It's always a pain. It's a major pain now because that bridge is shut down, so it's about an hour and a half typically over there. I forgot that sprayer runs about 32 to 34 mile an hour, so it wasn't as bad as getting the finisher over there. That took about an hour and 45, but I actually made that last run in like 50 minutes to an hour, so with that sprayer, that's really not too bad.